Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Brandy, and in today's video, of course you can tell by the title, we are doing my April month recap slash wrap up slash whatever it is that you want to call it. We're going to talk about everything that I read this month. So you guys know I keep my notebook because I jot everything down. This is kind of like a reading notebook, and it's kind of not. I think I just put everything in my notebook that I would typically have in the notes of my phone, but because I record with my phone and I don't want to pull out my iPad sometimes, I just jot everything down that I want to talk about. But anyway, this month was a good reading month for me. It was actually a good bookish month for me because it was my birthday, so I did a lot of celebrating. A lot of things that I did to celebrate this month did incorporate books and all of the bookish things. So this month I actually read 9 books in total. 6 were physical copies, 2 were e-arcs, and 1 was an audiobook. And this month was actually my first time reading one book multiple ways. So you guys know how the bookish girlies will buy the physical copy, get the ebook, and sometimes get the audiobook. I did that this month. So the current book that I'm reading, because it is still the month of April, tomorrow is the last day of April, so I foresee myself finishing this book tomorrow. But I have the ebook on my phone, the ebook on my Kindle, and then I actually have the physical copy as well. So this was my first month doing multiple ways of reading a book, and I was excited about that. So let's get into what I read this month. So the first book I read this month was an e-arc, and I read One by One by Frida McFadden. I actually read that book, I think April the 1st, because if I'm not mistaken, it was released on April the 2nd, and they approved me for that arc very much last minute. So I spent the whole 24 hours or a whole day reading that book from sun up to sundown because I just so happened to be off that day. So I spent that whole entire day just reading, relaxing, and that was the book that I chose. I rated that book a 3 stars. I'm not gonna say it wasn't my favorite, but it was not as good as The Housemaid, because I've only read The Housemaid and The Housemate Secret, and then One by One, at the time it was my second Frida McFadden book, so in total I've read 3. But this one, it was okay. It wasn't my favorite, and I don't think it will be my favorite, but it was okay. If you want to try it out, then try it out, but that's not one that I just highly recommend. So the next book I read was actually gifted to me by the author. I read this book here. It's called Nana's Baby by Cynthia D. Tolliver, and this is her self-published book. And you guys, look, she signed it for me. And this book was so freaking good. It was 211 pages. This was another book that I read because at the beginning of the month, I took time off for my birthday, and I dedicated a few of those days to just reading, going to the coffee shop, reading, chilling at the house, and just reading. And this was one of the books that I actually took to the coffee shop with me to read. And this book was so good. It was about a young lady who was in college. She was raised by her grandmother. She ended up having a baby. Her grandmother was taking care of her child for her so that she could finish college. Grandma ended up passing away, so she ended up having to return back to motherhood. And you guys, this story was just so good. Like, I was going through this book like crazy. I read this book pretty fast. I gave this book a rating of 4 stars. It is available on Amazon. If you want to purchase it, I will put the link in my description box. So the next book that I read was actually an audiobook, and I finally got my hands on, or my ears on, Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. It was such a cute book. Every time somebody asks me, how did you like that book? My thing is, it was a cute book. It was a YA book. Like I said, I listened to it via audio. I'm trying to remember what I rated that book. I want to say I gave it like a 3.5 or a 4. I can't remember exactly what my rating was because I didn't write that one down. But I want to say it had to be a 4 because I don't think I was giving 3s out this month, but I don't think this was one of the books I gave a 3 out to. It was very good, very cute. Like I said, YA. Let me see if I can remember. I remember it was 2 teenagers. One was a DJ radio host, and he was in his first semester of college, and he had love down packed to a T. I mean, he was giving advice to adults that was calling into the radio station. And then the young lady, and like I said, I cannot remember the characters' names because I did listen to this at the beginning of April, but the young lady, she was in her senior year of high school, and she was just trying to find herself, and she had never had a boyfriend before, and them two started dating, and then the rest was history. So I highly recommend that you check that book out. Like I said, it's a YA. So if you read in the YA genre, then this was a super, super cute book. So the next book I read this month was actually the buddy read with my baby girl, and it was called Tornado Brain by Kat Patrick. And of course, because my daughter is 12, it is a children's book. So I do not give children's books ratings because the whole point of us reading this book is for her. But what I can say is this book was so freaking good. It was so good, so good. The whole idea of tornado brain, and I think they did sensory awareness in the book. I think it's SPD awareness, if I'm not mistaken, in the book. It was a good book. It kind of reminded me of Monday's Not Coming. It kind of reminded me of that when I first started reading a book and I got into the story in the first chapter. I was like, yep, this reminds me of Monday's Not Coming. The book was so good though. I was reading it like it was an adult book. And I love reading books with my baby girl because I can form discussion questions with her and we can chit chat about the book. And this one, I feel like is going to be one of those books that sticks with her for a long time. We have not had our discussion about this book yet. We're actually going to have it next weekend because we've been pretty busy, but I cannot wait to deep dive into this book with her because it just had so much stuff in there that I really just want to get into her head about. The main character was in 7th grade. My baby girl's in the 6th grade. So if you have any children, I highly recommend reading Tornado Brain with them, or just getting them to check it out from the local library because that's what I did. She was gifted this book from one of her teachers at school, and she asked, can this be our book of the month for April? And I was like, yeah, that'd be good. So I went to the library and I just picked me up a copy and we read it together, and it was so good. So the next book that I read was actually my book club's pick for April, which was the Housemate Secret. I've already posted a detailed book review with spoilers for this book, so I'm not gonna go into detail, but if you haven't seen that video, go check my video out. It's really, really good. I gave this book a 4.5. What I can say is this one was not my favorite out of the two. The Housemate still sets the bar for me, but I cannot wait for the third one to come out this summer. So the next book that I read this month was an anticipated read. I just did a book review for Razor Blade Tears by S.A. Cosby. You guys should already know I gave this book a 5-star rating. It is the bomb. This is the second book that I read from him, and and I cannot wait to get into these others that I have back here. The top one I've already read, and then I have these two down here that I still need to get to. But y'all, if you haven't gotten into S.A. Cosby, what are you doing? Get into him. Get into him. He is just that author. Just like with the Housemate, I'm not going to go into detail about this one because I just did a book review on this one. So check the book review out. So the next book that I read was called The Forever She Deserves, and it's by Lauren Lacey. And it was an e-arc. And you guys, it was a novella, and I loved it down. I did not realize until after I finished that book that it was part of a series, and it was actually book 3 in a series. So I added the other 2 to my Amazon wish list once I realized, girl, what are you doing? This is book 3. But what I can say is that the books are standalone, so it's not like I missed anything from the previous book, but that novella was good. When I say the spice level was the bomb, and I'm not a spicy girl reader. I do not like a lot of spice because I'm grown, I have 2 children, I know how it works, okay? I don't need the detailed descriptions, but the spice level was amazing. The storyline was amazing. I gave the book 4 stars. I even got gifted the first 2 of the series from one of my friends. So I'm gonna be circling the block and reading these. Like I said, they are novellas. So I don't know if I'm gonna put these in my in my May read. I may, because like I said, they are novellas. These are like 145 pages, so you can easily read these in one setting. But the series is called the Black Summer Island series, and this one is called The Family She Found, and then this one is called The Break She Needed. And like I said, I read The Forever She Deserves. I rated it a 4-star. It was amazing, and I highly suggest you check this series out. So the next book I read this month was Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. And y'all, I didn't really like this one. The trope in this book is age gap, and the way she wrote this age gap book was not my favorite. I rated this a 2.75. I did an entire reading vlog for this. If it hadn't already dropped, it's coming because it's something that I've already done before I recorded this video, but I'm not sure when this video is coming. Like this one, I don't know when this one is coming, and I want to say it's gonna be after this one, so stay tuned for my thoughts, y'all. I did an entire reading vlog for this. It was a quick and easy read. I love a age gap trope, but within reason, and that's all I'm gonna say because I want you guys to go check out my reading vlog for this. Just know I gave it a 2.75, and if y'all got Penelope Douglas' number, please inbox it to me because I got a question. I got a question and I need answers immediately. And final book of this month is Nightcrawling by Layla Motley, and I'm actually about 85% done with this book. I should be done with this book by tomorrow, which is the end of April. And you guys, I'm leaning towards a 4 or 4.5 star for this book. This is not a fluffy read. If you don't know about this book, go Google the book, go read the synopsis. I don't really like reading synopsis in my wrap-ups because that's not the purpose of my wrap-ups. Go read the synopsis for this book. This is the book that I actually got in multiple formats because I've been reading it every chance I get. If I'm at work, I'm reading from my phone. If I'm on break, I'm reading from the actual book. If I'm walking around the house just doing stuff, cooking, I'm reading it from my Kindle. This book is gonna stick with me for a while, and I know it's gonna be a 4 or 4.5 stars. Like, I already know. I do plan to do a book review with spoilers and all of that type of video for this book because it is just that good. And y'all know I don't do book reviews on every single book that I read, but the ones I feel like mean something to me or just are so good, I want to do a book review on it. Besides Birthday Girl, because Birthday Girl, that's not the reason why I did the book review on that one. It was actually a reading vlog, and I did the reading vlog because I needed to give y'all some raw reactions for that book. Okay, all right. So to sum up my reading month, my favorite book of the month was Razorblade Tears, period, 5 stars. My least favorite book was The Birthday Girl, 2.7. If, you know, Goodreads really need to let us do 0.5 and do increments of 5 for book reviews, because I put a 3-star on my Goodreads, but it was really given 2.75, 2.5. I would not recommend this book. This morning I looked at some book reviews for this book, and the way that people took the book and enjoyed the book, it behooved me. It behooved me, especially the smut level they loved. And I was like, ain't no way y'all really legit love the smut in that book. That's neither here nor there, but this is my April reading wrap up. Like I said, I had a very good month. Looks like I've been averaging 9 books a month. Like I told you guys last month, I don't know if this is gonna be keeping up, but as long as it's rocking, I'm rolling. And if I got time to read that many books, then I will. But if I need to scale back, I will too, because reading is supposed to be enjoyable. It's a fun hobby. It's not a race. So let me know what you guys read this month down in the comments. What was your favorite book you read in April? What was your least favorite book you read in April? Let me know if you read any of the books that I mentioned. Let me know your reviews and your opinions and your thoughts about these books. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And until next time, peace out.